Good evening. Ricky Garch, 24 Morris Street. I'd like to just make a few comments about our property taxes and the assessments and the way the assessments are being done at this moment. Currently, we're part of the county demonstration program. I think a lot of people were shocked with their bills and their assessments this year. I'm sorry Councilman DiBenedetto's not here because of interest. Four of the highest increases in the borough are two of his properties on 11 and 13 South Street. So there's either a flaw in the system with how that was done, because his properties went up 143% and 155% respectively, without having anything done to those properties. There's something definitely wrong with the program, that a property like that could go up that much in 1 year. His property taxes doubled for two pieces of property. Nobody in this town's doubled. The program needs to be evaluated again on whether it's worthwhile for us to be involved in it. There's no reason for it. The only other reason is that there was a flaw in the system in prior years and he was grossly undervalued for years. Could you imagine if your house went up 153% in 1 year? What property taxes you would be paying? I don't think anybody would like that. So I think you need to consider evaluating being part of the assessment demonstration program at the county, because I don't believe it's working for everybody. In a size of 1.9 square miles here in town, there's not that much development. People aren't putting up mansions. So there's no reason to think that everywhere the properties are going through the roof and on the other side of town, the properties are dropping that much. So you need to consider that, please, for the taxpayers' interest. Regarding the Special Improvement District budget, on May 15th, you allowed the executive director, before the public hearing was even opened, 19 minutes to speak about the budget to you. 19 minutes to be going over a budget that you apparently all went over with the Finance Committee already. In 2 decades, the executive director of the Downtown Improvement District has never gotten up and presented his budget. 19 minutes over 2 decades. For what purpose? Because Jeff Friedman's running for council this year, so you figured you'd put him up in public and make it look how good things are? It's never been done in 2 decades. There's no reason to have it done this year unless there's another reason. Regarding your parking utility, you're correct. You adopted an ordinance in 2018 putting the parking utility in place. In 2019, in February, you introduced an ordinance to get the parking pay stations put in place. And then there was complete halt because downtown wasn't part of that conversation. So here we are 5 years later and you're getting it up and running. This was supposed to have done years ago. A decade ago, this was brought up to the council about having parking utility. And it's taken this long to get something going. Mr. Friedman also had some comments regarding on social media about what his opinion and how he was pushing forward all this. Well, if you look at your own minutes, it was downtown that stopped all this for 5 years. So I'm not sure what he's out there telling the public things that aren't true, but when you're recorded in your minutes. Regarding the Nestle plant, Mr. Friedman's also been out there talking about the Nestle plant and how until it's decommissioned, the property taxes will remain the same. Now, I didn't recall that Mr. Friedman was an assessor, that he would know those answers. However, I've been doing this for 35 years. And I'm pretty sure when that plant closes, one of their many attorneys will have filed the appeal already. When it's not operating, the value will drop. So I think the person that's giving the information out to the public should be more knowledgeable, telling the public what's really going on here. And the fact that he mentioned that Manalapan and Marlboro will be absorbing the costs because they have the most into our system. I don't know, I've been on Manasquan River for 17 years. Manalapan and Marlboro don't pay a penny into our system unless there's an agreement that somebody told me about that I missed somewhere. So things that are being spewed out there, if you want the facts, they're the facts. I don't do social media, and Sharon, with all due respect to you, I understand why. Because what I've read, it's absurd. What people can just throw out there and hope it sticks. It's absolutely absurd. But I'm with you. That's why I don't do social media. We agree on something, Sharon. Last thing I'd like to say is that I serve the Township of Ocean as their CFO. And we have an interlocal service agreement with the city of Plainfield, and I'm their CFO as well. And I'm not saying that just because I'm saying it. I just want the public to know I have those two jobs. Lastly, I'd like to appreciate a little clarity on an issue I raised over a year ago on why the town would pay over $4,000 for a sitting council persons to get the qualified purchasing agent license. I would yet to get an answer, and I would appreciate to get one. As the tax-paying citizens, we ask questions, we should be able to get answers, and it hasn't been answered in over a year. I would like to thank you for taking these comments seriously, evaluating them, and doing what's right for the public. Have a good evening.
Anyone else in the public?
Good evening. My name is Jeff Friedman. I represent the Freehold Center Management Corporation as the Executive Director, and I live at 3 Broad Street. By ordinance, we must give a budget presentation every year. I have done so every year since I took over this job in 2016. Every year. There was a lot more questions this year on social media about what our budget went towards. So I thought it was necessary to let people know what it went for in a clearer way than it's been done in the past. And I think that's helpful. Parking. Shortly after I began at downtown Freehold, I was asked by the borough attorney at the time to address the parking situation in the market yard with the business owners. Over the next year, we spent exhaustive hours meeting. And over the next couple of years, we put together a parking plan. The plan was ultimately rejected by the downtown at that time because the borough administrative team at the time refused to guarantee and commit to keeping that money in a dedicated fund to improve parking. That it was, they would not commit to that long term. And that was something the businesses, and I believe the residents too, would expect that if we're going to be paying for parking, that it's going to go maintain parking and improve the conditions downtown when it comes to parking, when it comes to safety, and when it comes to the concerns related to parking and safety. That's what this plan is going to do. And over the long term, it's going to make a better downtown. And by allowing better turnover, we will encourage more businesses to come downtown. And hopefully we will get those arcades and those other venues that need proper turnover to come to downtown. So, as it comes to some of those other issues, the fact of the matter is, if you have an empty building, you don't stop paying taxes on it. That's just a fact. Plain and simple. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public care to make a comment?
Ricky Gartz, 24 Morris Street. So unless your borough minutes are not correct, there has never been a public hearing where the executive director has spoken at. Maybe down at his meetings he has, but it has never been done at a council meeting in the last 20 years. So let's get that fact straight. Since 2016, since 2002, because I've read all the minutes. So that is not true at all. Thank you.